I can't stop this feeling deep inside myself. Cause nope, gotta hit those notes. Don't wanna love you. I'm not a singer. Don't quit your day job or your night job for that matter. So, alright, this is a different kind of story tonight. I must confess, tonight's a different live that I've done in quite some time, and as you have seen, because I did through StreamYard, Cfowls' name is not tagged. So until Cfowls gets the good old linkage, that hot, sweet linkage I sent, I'm gonna go ahead and freestyle. I'm gonna bust a move. I'm gonna bust a freestyle. So, I'm gonna do what I do, stay in my lane. What's up, Ace and DD? My son's life mattered. Always an honor. It is always an honor and distinct pleasure to have you. Mutated illustration, my dear. You have just become a very fast, I don't know, one of my fast favorites. Period. I just felt like I summoned Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker. You just became one of my favorites. All right, so while we wait, we're going to have a special guest. For some reason, I felt like saying Pepe Le Pew will be joining us. That has nothing to do with the guest at hand. Let's look at some fun stuff. Until Jesus, look at all that. You know how special I feel. Are you gonna love this bass girl? By the way, hey bass girl, hope you had a good day. And you know, props to all of us that get done our whole day job nonsense. Hey, D Libby, by the way, I have to say hello. It is my compulsion. It's my OCD, okay? Did I tell you guys? Oh, here's something. Okay, let's go fun first, okay? Then we'll get to like serious stuff, I suppose. All right. I posted this on Stuck in the Middle. All right. And as you can see, maybe I sent it to myself. This is ridiculous. This is one of those things where I feel like an old man. Yada yada. Yep, here it is. Blah blah blah. Wah wah wah. The world's smallest violin is playing for us all. But this is real. Okay. This is real, and this is what sets me apart from feeling like being an old man disconnected from the current generation is a bad thing. Because this right here, no, you know that. I don't want any uh, terms of service where you can listen in on me and watch me put my socks on and sell it to my OnlyFans. Where's this chick's video? I got to give you guys some of the context. This is true gold. All right, you guys want to learn something new? Y'all want to get a good excuse to get out of work? All right, and it's not a medical emergency or something like that. I now have a made up, brand new, it's not recognized by the DVSM or, to my knowledge, any therapists or doctors. I really hope that that's the case across the world. But if you in fact have heard of this, just tell me, prove it, tell me, I will give you money. What's up? Keep the peels. Hey, Queen Survivor. All right, you guys just have to see this. Have to. TikTok woman. All right, well, I know the article is going to be a suck fest starting with that. So check this out. Woman mocked for asking time blindness question in job interview. So I need to sincerely ask all of you, while I share the screen with everybody, here we go. All right, and yes, Cfowls will be here at some point today. I'm very excited to announce. Check this out. All right, so has anybody here, humor me, for those of you that are hiding in the bushes. If you've ever heard of time blindness, before I go forward with this, if you've ever heard of it, hit 1 now. If this is your first time, today years old, you are 10:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, o'clock years old. As to learning about time blindness, hit 2. Hit 2. Come on, let's have a poll. Let's prove this is what a democracy looks like. Wait. 1, as in you've heard of this before? Wait, you guys have heard of time blindness before? Really? Because what? Okay. I'm a little stunned. I got 2 1s. Come on, anybody. Cindy D, my son's life mattered. Don't be afraid. I'm gonna dig deeper into this thing, but I have to know from you guys. I got 2 1s. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anybody else? D Libby, bass girl. If you've heard of time blindness, hit 1. If this is your first time learning about it, and I'm going to give you the description by our TikTok generation. This is the first time that you're learning of it, hit 2. You watch too much YouTube. Okay. Oh my God. All right, man, what's going on here? This is a mutiny. Everybody's hitting one. Okay. Well, this is my first time. So check this. I'm going to play the video. This woman it's a big controversial thing because we have my half of the generation saying this is not a thing. You're ridiculous and not responsible. And then I guess her and those that agree with her. And of course, it becomes about toxicity and work environments, becomes something bigger than it really is. Oh, goodness. Do I have to refresh it and accept the cookies? I don't want your cookies. I want somebody else's cookies. All right, here we are. Check this out. Hold on. There's going to be an ad, I suspect. She goes to a job interview. And I've been to so many. I've had so many jobs. Never in my days did I think there was a term that I could use to say, yeah, I'm perhaps known for being late. Time blindness. When I hear it first with zero context, I'm like, oh, maybe you get so caught up in some shape or fashion because you're so busy, you just don't look at the time. But no, it goes deeper. This is apparently some sort of, I guess people want this to be recognized as a medical thing. Okay, now bread and butter. Audio check. Here we go. I'm gonna let it roll. Oh, don't you add me again. You can't escape it. That's okay. Hold on. I'm gonna make up the words as we go. Tell your parents to install
Switch to Xfinity Mobile and save
devices.
50% over AT&T. Get the
And
best price for 2 lines of unlimited,
there's
just
always
$30 a line per
worded
month.
imagery that's secretly advertising to our
In countries around the
subconscious
world,
for
Peace
us
Corps
to
education
do
volunteers
something
go
that's
all in
maybe
and all out,
anti-American.
bringing their
Yeah.
experience,
By the
passion,
way,
and joy to teaching and
socialism
learning.
is
Together,
good
are you
and
ready to go
it's
the
better than
distance to make a
capitalism.
difference?
They heard all
Join
that
us.
from Peace Corps. Oh my
Seeing
God!
yourself as yourself
This is
for the
not going to
first time
be
is such
Eli
a
response to
transformative
ads hour.
experience.
I have a whole
I'm
identity. I'm
canceling
not
you.
just trans.
I'm a person, you're a
Trans?
person, I treat you with respect, so I deserve it back.
There are some people in
Oh,
the
we
world
getting
who are
we
just
getting
not
educated.
trying to engage with this conversation in any kind of good
It's Harry
faith.
Potter.
I think a lot of the time it's just because people don't know a young trans person, so there's just this like theoretical idea about this in their head.
Even if
Thank you,
you
algorithm.
you don't know someone who's queer trans, or you really don't, like at some point you will.
Wow.
Because no matter how I identify or who I am in this world, we all experience these things that are a part of life.
I don't experience having confusion over the fact that I have a penis or not. If there's another ad, I swear. Okay, all right, hold on. I'm going to just check the chat, and I'm going to have a me time breathing o'clock. Hey, Cfowls is here, by the way. All right, it's going to get super interesting. We might have to hide today o'clock for a moment, because I think YouTube is finally got sick of my shit and wants to break me. Cfowls is here, everybody. Cfowls, get ready for your debut, okay? Put the dildo away, and Action Jackson. What's up, brother?
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
I am doing phenomenal. Are you on the thing? Let me fix this. It's been a while since I've done this. There we go. Hey, everybody. Look who's here. Angry conservative, basic girl, red pill truth, apple dumpling. Hi. So, well, before we get into our just random conversation about anything we want, because that's what this country is founded upon, and our channels, and, this is just what we do. Have you, Cfowls, have you ever heard of time blindness?
No.
Okay, so chick goes to an interview, and she says, "I'm gonna check real quick because now we got that far. I feel like let's at least show the meat and potatoes." And I swear, if I see one more ad, though, I will break this computer live. So we're not listening to this. I don't know Spanish.
YouTube, if you give us one more ad, I will torture you in your dreams.
This is the last one, dude. I will straight up go Freddy Krueger on Google in every shape or form. This is the last one. How are they going to slip in like 4 to 6 ads before the story? Okay, and action. Okay, here we go.
A very reasonable
session. Great, the audio.
So
I'm afraid to pause it.
And I just wanted to know, are there accommodations for people who struggle with time blindness and being on time? And then the person I was with interrupted and acted like I was asking something else. And then when we were done, they actually started yelling at me and saying that accommodations for time blindness doesn't exist. And if you struggle with being on time, you'll never be able to get a job, provided you're trying your absolute best to be there. And then they're like, your stupid generation wants to destroy the workplace. And yeah, I think that a culture where workers are just cut off because they struggle with being on time, when there's other solutions that we can look to, I think that just anybody who thinks it's okay to just treat people like that, yeah, that culture needs to be dismantled. And then I asked that person, how can you feel good about yourself upholding this kind of system? And then to think I'm entitled. No, if people think it's okay to treat others like this, that's entitlement.
Okay, so did you? I know that this might be a strange topic in general, but did you grasp what she was saying there?
Yeah, society confuses me. So basically, she was like, "Yo, it's not my fault I'm always late."
Right. She is, and she's also trying to make it into a medical thing. Like that is, I don't care how many issues one may have that have merit or not. I don't care if you're schizophrenic and you think Hunter Biden lives in your closet. I don't care. Anybody can make time to be on time, and that's individual, responsibility to go and say, yes, you know what, because you will not acclimate to my lack of ability to be on time. You have a toxic working environment, and we should destroy it. That's how I see it. That was
A real medical issue is looking like this. It's so hard to get a job when you look like this.
I mean, can you hear me for a second? You don't, or do you? Do you go to interviews in full Cfowls?
It depends. I mean, when I was working at the carnival, like, yeah,
Oh,
it
well, that's
wasn't this.
appropriate.
It wasn't.
No,
It was more of like a normal, like kid-friendly. Hey, I'm a clown, but I mean, I look like this, bro. I just roll out of bed, and this is my face. It's a lot of prosthetics and shit to make me look normal.
shut up. Wait, I can see. Okay, I'm getting a sensation that you've taken the intellectual high ground and you've thus begun trolling me. Only I was taking you quite serious for a spell. But no, like before you go out and about, do you administer the paint?
Depending. I mean, honestly, now I'm residing in the South, and I'm kind of legit afraid I might get shot. But I mean, and like you can't walk into a bank like this. They're just immediately like, "Yeah, we're calling the police now. You're gonna go to jail."
I can only imagine. Like, are you in a small southern area?
Well, I mean, Texas. So
Okay, well, not quite known as a small southern area, but I mean, Texas is one of my favorite places to go. But with my experience there, I couldn't imagine walking around like that. That must be something.
I get it. All jokes aside, I really do look like this. But all jokes aside, even just the dreadlocks and like the way I do look, people are like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I am so not from here."
Well, I mean, so have you found that because me, I guess I get the boring look, but I was taken aback at how friendly everybody was, and I made it a point to tell everybody in random conversation, like, "Is this real? Are you guys like this every day here? Because you guys are nice." And I explained Florida, New York, like your experience there has been mostly positive when it comes to strangers.
No, I mean everyone's super nice, and like everywhere I go, it's people are kind of side eyeing me, but then when I talk to them, they're like, "Dude, I love your hair. Like that's fucking crazy, man." I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." And like everyone's super coming from the opioid capital of the country up in Washington. Southern hospitality is real. Nobody's tried to like rob me for a couple of bucks to get some pills or something. Like
That's how I get a generic good vibe is when I'm not robbed in the first hour or so. I'm pretty comfortable in New State.
yeah, I mean, I'm also from the hood in Spokane is wild, wild. Like, motherfucker, I had this dude one time. I parked at an Arby's because they didn't care if you parked there all day. I like straight up asked him. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be skating around down here. Can I just leave my car here so I don't have to pay for parking?" They're like, "We're Arby's. We don't give a shit what you do."
I was gonna say, dude, we're Arby's.
So
We
I'm
look
like, cool.
grateful that it looks like you're shopping here.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm like, cool. And I'm like skating down to the downtown mall to meet up with everybody else. And this dude pops out of the alleyway. I'm like, oh God, here we go. He's like, hey man. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, bro. I don't got any cash on me. Like, whatever. He's like, oh, well, hey, you want to smoke some meth? And I was like, what? No, dude, I just said I don't have any money. Like, no, man. He's like, no. I got some. Do you just want to go? And I was like, what? You are the most polite junkie I've ever met in my life, sir.
This, okay, hilarious. But this reminds me because it was very similar when I went to the islands with a friend of mine, my first and last cruise ever. And we were looking for some greenery. And there was one dude in front of the liquor store. And we asked him for some. And he starts laughing. Rastafarian fella, tall. And he goes, man, you want some heroin? That's what you're gonna get. And we said, no, dude, we just want some green, bro. And he laughs and he says, come back when you grow up. And so we end up walking on the beach. We found some 12-year-old kid selling flutes that sold us some greenery. That was my experience there. So I'm gonna do a hard segue. You ready for a hard segue? This is what I do on Stuck in the Middle. And since I feel right at home, because literally I'm really in my home, I'm just gonna let the audience in on something. Okay, I did call Cfowls here with a little bit of a pretense. I think all of us here have come to learn and meet very interesting people with interesting ways about going about their lives and the way that they have relationships, maintain them, and all that. And I found myself just idly thinking, and I don't want to feel like I should ever, because I've already been there. I think Cfowls. Sorry, we're not.
You motherfucker.
Eli, Casey, we know what it's like.
People haven't heard it all over the fucking internet, man.
Right. You and I are known for being absolutely transparent. We have said it all, shared it all, and almost to the extent where it's been used against, I can speak for myself, where people have tried to use it against me. Actually, I know for a fact people tried to use it against you.
There's a reason that I say don't drink and live. I got drunk one time and damn near gave out fucking motherfuckers could have been stealing my identity.
I've seen and I've lived it, as we all know, but we have grown forward from it. Now, I'm not going to say this is in reference to anybody not growing, but like I got to express how confused I am. This is the first time I'm talking about it here, and I'm well within my right. We're all it's a public knowledge thing, and it's crazy to me. All right, so there was an individual that we all know. Like, do I have to refer to him as individual, or this is fucking bullshit. Actually, I knew him as DC Irish. Okay, boom. I knew an individual by the name of DC Irish. I was not as close with him as many of you may have been, and I learned from the outside looking in, and after seeing and going through a somewhat of a process, that apparently right now the current stage of events is we don't know if he's really alive or really dead.
We don't know. What we do know is, all right, so what, like 3-4 days ago now, maybe. So everybody, I'm sure a lot of your audience, we kind of have intermingling people. Me and Fetty were going after each other pretty hard. And then eventually we both were just like, okay, I'm tired of this. Like, can we call it a ceasefire or whatever? Like, people are doing fucked up shit to Bryn in my chat. People are saying fucked up shit to you. And
may I ask for context why the two of you were going at it?
He didn't like me.
So I kind of talked about it a little bit on my last live yesterday, but right around the time, it was, I don't know, a week, say maybe a week after we had learned of DC's passing, we had a conversation in his Discord, which ultimately I got kicked out of.
Yeah, because I think, if I recall, you said you didn't care. So they're like, all right,
So it's actually funny. We were going at each. So what happened ultimately? We had this discussion about nobody needs to be doing drama anymore. If anyone's going to anyone's chat or going to anyone's channel causing drama, like we don't want that anymore, man. And I will say emotions were running high. We all were under the impression that we just lost a friend. Some called him a brother. Like, we thought this dude that we were close to supposedly had just passed away. So there's this whole conversation about no drama, no bullshit, whatever. In that
wait. The no drama, no drama, whatever edict was issued after the passing.
Right after, like, I don't think it was a full 7 days after.
That seems convenient. Okay.
Yeah, but I also had me and Joey had sort of a side conversation in that conversation where I had found out about Forging Thought having another account. And I'm sure people know a little bit of that story too. Me and Bryn had been like, where did this dude just fall off the face of the fucking earth? Like, what's happening? Well, so it turns out Fetty knew that Forging had this other account and that he had been coming around in Fetty's chat and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, you're not going to tell me the dude I've been trying to talk to for a couple months now is actively in your chat, like, regularly? So there was that. And then I went on a live and myself and Brent, I keep pointing over there because she's right. Myself and Brent were having a conversation, just kind of talking about a lot of things, talking about some stuff going on in her life, talking about some stuff going on YouTube, talking about the Chad Forging Thought shit. I did it too. The Forging Thought thing. And we said something. I'm not even exactly sure what we said.
My mom.
That started it?
I think so, with the whole PC thing.
Well,
wasn't it something you said in the chat?
When he yelled at me on my birthday?
Yeah, didn't that start in the chat?
Yeah, I just said my motto is no drama, go to the source. And Fetty thought that was a fight.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, so you don't want... Basically, Bryn was like, if people don't want drama, don't start drama. And
deal direct.
Yeah, and...
If I may, just not a pause, just a brief, I want to add this context. I learned, and this broke my heart because I believe, still to this day, somebody can correct me, I think I knew Forging first, and he tells me I'm the one that inspired him to buy equipment and start podcasting. So then later on, when everything happened, and he always was amicable and civil with me on the phone, but I learned that he turned somebody I trusted and appreciated and adored against me so hard, which broke my heart. And
yeah, I don't know how long him and Fetty had known each other, but I believe, yeah, the whole stuck in the middle thing with you and Josh is kind of where he came from, so to speak. But yeah, so basically Bryn said, like, don't want drama, don't start drama, and Fetty took that as us, like, talking shit to him and said, he literally said, you want to start some shit, Bryn, in the comments. And we were like, whoa, what the fuck? And so she hopped up and we kept just kind of talking about stuff. And we kept being like, Fetty, what the hell, man? Like, no one's even talking about you, dude.
It's my fucking birthday.
Yeah, and it was her birthday. I don't think anyone knew that, but yeah, this is on her birthday. And
I was witness to that moment when there was a lot of misconstrued comments.
So he kept saying kept saying, let me up there, let me on panel. We need to have a talk about this. Let me on panel. And so I'm like, all right. And dude, fuck it. Watch this. Drop the link for him. And right before that, I said verbally, I was like, why? So you can come up here and yell at me? And he put back in the chat, no, I'm not going to yell at you. I just want to have a conversation. So I dropped the link. And the first thing he does is tells Bryn, shut up. I don't want to talk to you. I don't like your fucking style, blah, blah, blah. And just goes off. And then pretty much blew up. We can both go fuck ourselves, whatever. And then jumps off the panel. And we're just like, okay. So much for not yelling at me. Okay. And then any self-respecting dude is not going to let another dude talk shit to their girl, even if it is like your brother or whatever. You're going to be like, hey, motherfucker, like that was disrespectful as shit. So that's what I said. And he kept telling me, no, fucking she disrespected me, blah, 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 blah. And I even said at one point, dude, what if I had gone on your panel and your wife was up there and I spoke to her like that? And he literally just kept saying, well, my wife wouldn't do that. And I was like, that's not what I'm saying. That's like, no. And then we went back and forth and told each other, go fuck yourselves. And he was saying shit about how I'm worthless and I could never work as hard as him. And I was saying shit about, it's kind of fucked up, but I was saying shit about how he sure talks a lot about the LGBTQ community when one of his family members falls under that community. And like we were both going for the throat. And then we both kind of just stopped. Like he blocked me on his YouTube channel. And I'm not real sure. He texted me and said he was going to block my number. And then I was like, okay. So I didn't even try to text him back. And then people were like, you guys need to have a conversation. And I was like, well, I think I'm blocked. So like, how? And then he said, oh, well, I never blocked you. So I don't know if he blocked me and then unblocked me or if I was ever actually blocked or what happened with that. But either way, we kind of are just like, you know what, fuck it. I have no reason to talk to you anymore. But then some of his people that frequent his channel were coming into my chat just saying fucked up shit.
That's
like,
where the harassment shit begins. That makes things.
Yep.
I want to put this out there to any ears that can hear me. Anybody that's able to just take it in and listen. You are not helping. It is always appreciated by anybody. I hope just take apart the narcissists and psychopaths that are all about manipulating and want you to go for somebody's throat. Take that away and know nobody that respects you wants you to go and act on their behalf and start crap. That's really, unfortunately, and I'm not rehashing a bunch of crap that happened a long time ago already, but things started to take a sour turn when I was simply found being in a chat that people did not like, and one that Fetty made clear. He didn't like that I was there. He didn't like that that me and Sly were friendly, and two of his members went there. One of them, Lilith, went there, and she made it so much worse. And I almost found myself in the position where, because of what? Because somebody doesn't like somebody else, I have to go ahead and go team. And one more thing I want to say that I have never said publicly. I hope it was said from the other side of the fence, because this was done privately. The apology that I was due was done privately. And I am not trying to make a whole fucking shit talk fest. We're talking about actual facts and events, things that happened in our lives, all right? Fetty went ahead when he was angry with me, okay? I was angry with him. We had our moment where we were beefing, okay? Where he made up. He invented an ex-girlfriend that got in contact with him and wants to go and speak on YouTube about how I was maybe abusive. I knew it was bullshit immediately because, number one, I've never put a hand in a negative or physical negative manner on another woman in my life. So that right there, I'm sorry. There is no apology, even though he's apologized in text and on the phone. He's never done
I'm
that publicly.
sorry,
What did
but
he do? What did he
I
do
just
publicly?
I just
What?
gotta give you some shit right now. You said you've never put a hand on another woman.
Yeah, in a
Basically,
negative
this is something
physical.
you need to tell us.
In a negative physical. I was very specific.
On another woman.
Yeah. Wait. What did I miss? I said I've never put my hand on in a physical way on another woman, right? What? Where's the confusion here? Did I miss it?
You said
okay.
I've never put my hands on another woman.
No, I said in a negative. I've never put my hands on another woman in a negative physical way. Right. I get it. Okay. So that right there helped me understand kind of like what I was dealing with. I don't want to broad stroke him or anybody, but Eli, are you? Damn it! What the hell did you start? I'm not calling myself doing. I'm just saying I have never harmed a woman in my life. Period. End of story. Like physically, okay. Emotionally, different story. Physically, never. And the fact that that was a narrative that was being run with, that was disturbing, and it showed me how low some people are just able and willing to sink.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like I honestly, I've got a little list, and feel free to break in. This is a natural conversation. But speaking of Lilith, she was someone that was a very strong advocate of all of our channels for a spell. And then after the Sly and I debacle, which is where I guess people just didn't like me existing there, suddenly she started to ignore me. And also I made a joke about Canada, and she got super weird with me and started completely ignoring me.
So what I know, mind you, I'm getting a lot of this information after the fact, kind of randomly, sort of. This was when, in the beginning of my sobriety, when I was going to a lot more like meetings and stuff, and so I'm literally driving to go sit in a room and be like, hi, drugs are bad. This is why none of us should ever touch drugs or alcohol again. And I start getting messages from, I want to say from Lilith first, saying that Sly was saying that she was going to beat Lilith up, I believe, and then also said that she was talking shit about Queen and Warrior Mom.
There was an issue between Queen, Warrior Mom, and Sly. I can confirm that there was something there, but they were also absolutely able to work it out amongst themselves.
So I didn't even know that. I'm just, Lilith is just like, oh my god, this fucking blah blah blah, this and that. So then apparently Dusty went into Sly's chat. I don't know if it was the same live or like the next one or what, but then apparently Dusty went in and said something, you need to quit running your fucking mouth, like whatever. Dusty basically said, hey, my friends.
I'll add this. Sly defended herself because whomever, and I was actually present, but I have no interest in getting other people involved that want to come out swinging. But if that's what ends up happening, they went into her chat, into her channel, into her live, and they attacked her. That's how it started. And they didn't like I was there. Boom.
I don't know. I just know from my end, that's what I was getting told. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why you guys even go into her chat? Like, I didn't care to. I think I had seen like a couple of her lives, and in all honesty, I was just like, I don't really care.
Everybody had their opinions. It was here, and I wanted to address Trisha. Yeah, this is the first time, Trisha, that I'm delegating or speaking publicly about this stuff. But it's not that we're just bringing that up for the sake of context. Okay, we're not trying to retell the story. So that was just an additional thing. And So aside from all that, okay, now more in the present, I want to bring up something that I'd like everybody to entertain. And Casey, feel free to tell me what you think. All right, we know for a fact, okay, as a matter of fact, and if anybody knows different, tell me, and I'll correct myself, and I'll apologize publicly and not just privately after making egregious slanderous statements. That's to all the other powers that be. Oh, don't have a bite in you, son of a bitch. Okay, Lilith. Lilith was a part of, I think, a scam of e-begging, correct or incorrect, regarding, and it was always under the pretense, like she asked me a lot, send money to Forging. Forging didn't really ask me, but I think he was always out there expressing a situation that had other people feeling bad. I sent him $50, and Lilith was the one that was always begging me to do more, send more. Did we
So,
kind of find out that like his circumstances weren't as they were, or what?
let me start off with this. Also, I don't. This one was kind of swept under the rug, and I didn't even really know about it until later on, when people were trying to, like, maybe they wanted to donate to my channel, or any sort of anything with me. I guess Lilith was telling people to send it. Now, mind you, this lady's in Canada, so send it to my PayPal, which will convert it to Canadian, so I can send it to Cfowls, which would have to convert back to American. And it was just this whole runaround. I don't know if anyone bought that and sent her PayPal money on my behalf, but I will say right now, if you did, I never got one PayPal payment on her behalf of you, whatever that was. The forging thing, I'm not.
I was convinced that they worked together. Sorry, I just want to say I was convinced for a long time they worked together, but then speaking to them independently, Lilith paints it like she was absolutely terrified of both Fetty and Forging. And then when I spoke to Forging directly before the two of you got to speak about the money due to you, he told me absolutely not. Do not speak to her whatsoever. It would probably be dangerous.
So, again, from my angle on all of this, I will say back then, me and Lilith were like pretty tight. We would talk all the time,
Same.
all day. Huh?
She was like a sister. I used to consider her a sister.
Well, I'll get into that too. Bryn said cock blocker. So yeah, we talked all the time, and she was always like, she would always send me like, oh, here's something interesting maybe you could talk about on the show, or like whatever. We were just like real close, and I thought that we were cool, but as this story unfolds, so one day I'm talking to her about there was always drama with her. That's one thing I will say is
absolutely
when
right.
one dumpster fire got put out, everyone was like, okay, oh, that's over. Oh my God. And we're like, dude, we just fucking saved the city. And now you want me to go save the city again? So she's going back and forth with this person on Discord. And she was like, yeah, this guy won't stop messaging me, and I don't want to talk to him, and I've been ignoring him, and blah, blah, blah. And Forging told me to tell him that I have an old man. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and she was like, yeah, me and Forging are like together now, and this and that. I was like, congratulations. Like at the time,
he would deny it and she would sell it. He always denied it to me.
And so what also ended up happening is she would tell myself and a lot of us, she may have told you this, that Forging was just dealing with a lot right now, and his PTSD was acting up, and he just didn't want to talk to anyone. So it would just be best if you have a message for him, just tell me and I'll relay it to him. But you don't want to overwhelm him right now. And so I'm like, that is weird, but like, okay, I mean, just tell him we love him. We're all thinking about him. Like, we hope he's good. Come to find out, fast forward, me and him spoke, and he was like, what? I was always wondering why you guys wouldn't text me. We're like, because we were being told you were having some PTSD freak out and we probably shouldn't text you. And then, yeah, Bryn. So I had met, we didn't really know each other yet. I had met, and I know this is one of those names. Just, it's like mentioning old Eli's name on my channel. I had met Miss Chronic, and
That's
she
okay.
wanted.
Wait. You get a negative reaction mentioning my name on your channel?
No, but
Like, what the fuck?
there's
Like,
always
whoever's got fucking issues with me, we can talk about it. I'm not hiding a goddamn thing. So, shit. I've still been absolutely a little. I'm beyond the heartbreak. Still confused when I go to your chat and channel. And I see a few names and I will give them respect of keeping it out of my mouth. But I'd see them and they're friendly to me there. But it just breaks my heart that the fucking campaign left
It's just
enough
one of
bad
those
tastes.
things where I expect every time I bring up, or even Forging or Lilith or any of these, I'm like, oh, here we go. Is the internet gonna be mad at me? I don't care, but so yeah, I basically got to know Miss Chronic and that circle, which includes like Bryn, my lovely wife advisor over here, Witchy Sisters Crafts, who sells my merch plug on your show, and a few other people, Loki Doki. A lot of you guys, he's a listener. He doesn't really participate in chats, but basically just started meeting a new circle of people, and
Here,
me and Bryn kind of were like, starting to feel each other out a little bit. And there was always this weird, and it wasn't just Lilith, I will say that. It was pretty much all of them. It basically don't venture out of the bubble, right? Oh, if it's not in the bubble, it's dangerous. Stay in bubble safe. And I'm like, fuck you. I want to do interviews with Miss Chronic and talk about weed. And Bryn is like a super hottie, and
if I may,
know her.
We're gonna come back to you saying Brenna's super hottie because that's something I'm sure she loves to hear out loud. And but okay, real quick, I want to add this context. Miss Chronic Chronicles, Rachel. Her and I, she was one of my most valued friends on here. And it was after the campaign, that's all I know to call it, that she ended up feeling some kind of way. And as it was developing, when I was not given the ability to speak for myself, I did try to reach out to her via text, and I came to my own personal conclusion. Okay, I guess you're just going to ignore me. So yes, I did. And then I got to see the things she was saying without giving me the benefit of speaking to her one-on-one. So yes, I did attempt to reach her and get her attention because I thought we had that connection. And she decided to just stay bitter and look at any negative and slight from her perspective as if she had never done anything to elicit anger from me. I won't go deeper into it because I'm not trying to reopen the wound, but I know to this day, and it saddens me because I really did care about her, we are not friends in any shape or form. And that was her comment about, because I'll just leave it at, I've seen her pop shots at me in chat.
And I will say, and again, I'm not gonna like put out business that doesn't need put out, but there have been times where the subject of you has come up and we've had to go, dude, chill. Like, that's not him. Like, I know you guys aren't getting along, but like, just calm down a little bit with that. You're good. Like, there was one time, we'll call it a case of mistaken identity. Someone was trying to message her, and she immediately jumped to, hey, Eli's trying to text me. And we're like, dude, no, that's not him. Like, I promise you, I know for a fact that is not him.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
correct, because I only text from my number, and I have no applications or any programs that could alter my number. That's sad, but I know, because I knew her well. I know I don't want to use a term that would be inappropriate. Not something lighter than, we'll say, overtly cautious. Okay, she gets very, very nervous about people from her past and all that. But that's
Yeah.
enough, and that I wanted to just kind of address for the first time. Aside from that, okay, so here's where the question I want to ask everybody in general: how many times does something have to occur? And this is no approximate science. This is no equation. But how many like oddities occur before we go, damn, like that's a lot of bad luck, to there's a lot of coincidences? And you know what, like, say the FBI, or, well, fuck the FBI, you know what a detective would say about a lot of coincidences: builds a strong circumstantial case, inevitably leading to evidence. So aside from Lilith, we had the forging fiasco and the DC Irish thing, which is an anomaly. Shortly after his departure from this earth, as we are to understand it, his alleged son was messaging me or commenting to me about having angry conservative here. So what I
Yeah.
find hypocritical across the board is that I know both of them would go after him for things done in the past. And now look at him now.
So, yeah. AC, I don't know if you're still in here. I know you were in here. I honestly don't even know exactly where that was, like a thing that was going on before I even came into the picture. I just knew that they did not like angry conservative.
They had a
And
rule, did they not? There was a rule: you cannot associate with X, Y, and Z people, and it would
so,
get so
yeah.
bad that you would get lambasted in public.
So, yeah, there was definitely times that things were said like, anybody who associates with that guy, or if you're in chats that he frequents, like it, whatever his, I don't know. I don't know much about you, angry conservative. I know that side of the fence didn't like you, and basically, hey, Barry Woods here, and basically,
And also, do you see? I think this is a fair. Finish your statement, and I want to point out a comment.
all right, no, I got to the point where we were kind of getting told, like, if I see you anywhere that this dude's name pops up, like, fuck you too, pretty much.
Yeah, and that was spread to anybody and everybody that was just accepted amongst the congregation. Oh, I wanted to add, and Chronic Chronicles was so nervous about having that interview with Fetty and company, and before she really got to know you and the other community, I had a whole long talk with her to reassure her that it would be okay. And again, just sad that we're never going to be friends again. Now, here's the comment that this is an absolutely fair, simple question, and I bet you a lot of people are wondering, what would be your response to that? That we don't know. Like, crazy enough. Even okay,
I don't know. I know.
all right. Joey was Joey invited to the funeral?
Who?
Fetty. Was Fetty invited to the funeral?
Well, okay. So let me answer the question first.
Okay.
I don't know. I would hate to say no, absolutely not. He is alive, and then be wrong. But we do know, and this will answer your follow-up question. Fetty was asking about when the funeral, they were going to do a paddle out. It's like a surfer funeral, basically. They all paddle out there and sit in the waves, and you put a what's that thing called? The flower necklace.
A lay.
A lay. Yeah, you
There you
put
go.
one of those, and then you sprinkle the ashes into the ocean, and you lay the surfer at rest with the waves, which like makes sense. For DC was a surfer, is a surfer. I don't know.
At least we know that much is true. That he's a
So,
surfer.
so yeah, Fetty was like, "Hey, man, like this is, mind you, they had met in person. They had hung out. They were more friends than a lot of us internet people who have only met on the internet. They like legit hung out. So yeah, he was like, "Hey, when's the service paddle out deal gonna be?" And I guess there was a date set, and then they said, "Oh, actually, the date's changed to this," and it was a date that Fetty was not going to be able to make it. He had to like work, I think, or he wasn't going to be able to be there.
May I ask you who he was in contact with that was representing DC?
Roger.
We like just some schlep they found on the corner named Roger, or somebody that's family.
Supposedly his son.
So the one that the one that was commenting at me. How dare you? I see why my dad said you were such a bad guy because you talked to angry conservative.
Yep.
Okay. Which
so
let me paint how strange that is. Let's say hypothetically, everybody, and please don't take it seriously. I need to paint a picture again. Imagine, God forbid, your father passes on. Are you going to go ahead and use his account to go after somebody who has apparently just done nothing more than speak with somebody your dad didn't like on the internet and be so passionate about it that you'd have an entire thread of an argument? Suspicious from the jump right there.
So yeah, so basically then Fetty got sent all these pictures. Oh man, look at the service. And it was a paddle out, and there was pictures of ashes being spread.
Yeah, stock photos.
Turns out it was, man.
From an article.
Yeah, they've told me the name of the dude, but it was from another surfer out in California from 2022, I believe. So that was fake. They faked those pictures.
So, all right. In real time, I need to express, wouldn't it be odd to someone that was as close with DC Irish as Fetty was to see those pictures and not recognize anybody?
One would think. I mean,
like his shock to it was.
I kind of don't know a lot about that either. I know they met in person. I have seen a photo of them together in real life.
As have I.
But I don't really know, like, to the extent, I don't know if Fetty had, like, met his wife or met this Roger that was in the chat that was taking over his dad's account. I'm doing that in quotes because we looked some things up, and it seems to me and to a lot of us, to Bryn, to pretty much anyone who's looked into this, we think that is a nephew. Could have been like a take your nephew in and have custody and raise him type thing, but
how is that a logical conclusion? Like, couldn't it just as easily still be DC? I mean, all this effort went into staging this.
Yes, in all reality, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say for sure he's alive, and then turns out he's actually dead. But if he actually passed on, they sure went through a lot of trouble to stage all of this. And the weird part to me, there was a lot of weird parts. Bass Girl had some questions from the jump. Myself and
for that.
Videos after he
to every one of you that maintained just skepticism and asking questions, even though everybody else was doing the opposite. I personally thank you.
Myself and Bryn had some question, and I mean, I was grieving. I was like, "Fuck, dude! Like, my friend just died." Like, I was grieving, but also I asked to see like an obituary. I asked to see all these things because my friend died. I want to see the things. And it was always, well, the family's not ready to release it yet, or
Who would answer that? Who would be telling you that? Fetty?
Well, Fetty. Fetty
Really?
is the one that
So
told me.
wait. All right, wait. I want to draw a parallel here. So not only did everybody have to go through Fetty to get to forging when he was caught up or owed money, but now with DC Irish very strange departure or alleged death, he is also the go-to again.
So, but even another layer to the DC thing, there was a few people, and I know for a fact a few of them don't want to be named in this, but there were a few individuals that had contact with Roger that essentially you had to go to Fetty or that I know of, two other individuals that want to be left out of this. They're not internet personalities. They're just like normal everyday people. But yeah, we had to go to one of the three, at least that I know of. There may have been others that were in contact, but one of those three so that they could go to Roger so that he could go to DC.
Okay. I mean, at least that makes more sense than I suppose Fetty having to be for a second time the barrier between, I guess, I don't know, what is on the outside to what is going on the inside. So, and I wanted to add another thing, not one more thing, something that was occurring very commonly, and Fetty has expressed confusion as to why I won't just accept apologies and let bygones be bygones. For one, every apology, because every of his negative actions was very public. His apologies, super private, aside from going on a live and saying, yeah, Eli and I are cool. There was a time when I was at my lowest of the low, when I was the bad guy. He would be texting me, and I'd wake up on a morning, everyday basis to see shit like, "Hey man, just make sure you stick to this kind of content, and things will be cool." Or if I did my parody characters, man, it seems like he would take it personal, like it was about him when I'm trying to make a statement. Always with that behavior, and he would also. Oh, and I'd wake up to something like, "You, man, after what I just heard, I can't know you anymore, and I'm gonna block you." So ironically, I offered that just the other day. I said, I don't know what to think about you. I'm going to block you.
That's
every day.
Karma's a motherfucker, isn't it? And I will say there have been several times, really, where you probably know at least some of what's happening in Bryn and I's life, where for, shall we say, legal reasons, we can't just go blasting people by name right now.
Understood.
So we'll say, this fucking guy or a narcissist or, saying things to kind of keep our own asses covered in the real world, not just here on YouTube. And Fetty would just assume that we were talking about him. And we were talking. And at one point during our squabble, we were on the phone and he was like, "And you keep fucking talking about me." I was like, "Joey, not everything's fucking about you, dude." It's like, he definitely has done that to me.
He almost and it's so stupid that I almost allowed an individual, a human being, no different than you and I, as much power as to make me so scared or paranoid about using a parody character that brought me joy and fun, like Mr. Friends and Dr. YouTube. It was never, ever, ever about him until he inserted himself and demanded that apparently it was. Therefore, he made it a reality.
Well,
but this policing of other people's activities on YouTube, that's what scared me away from Discord. That's what scared me away from groups, communities. I will never be the same or look at humanity the same because of my experience on YouTube.
In all honesty, and sorry, anybody who's going to watch this, I genuinely don't want to be. That's what I was going to say. I don't want to be back in Fetty's Discord. And also, when I got kicked out, I already knew he was going to kick me out. So I went to Discord and was about to hit leave server and it disappeared. And I was like, oh, you fucking beat me to it.
he needed that last W, apparently. But you and Bryn do empathize very much with that sentiment, right? Like feeling like you're always being watched and policed, like you have to walk on eggshells. When this platform is unforgiving as it is, the world, society is unforgiving as it is, but to have somebody that would call us brother and act like they had our best interests, try to steer us in the direction of the content he wanted to see us produce, and always, that was an exhausting dynamic. It was abusive.
There's definitely been a lot of that, and I mean we're used to that in our fucking real lives too, not on YouTube. But that's what I was gonna say. So, we have funny people out there like Mr. Barry Wood and his. I'll be honest, me and Barry's first interactions were not good.
I know, and I call him Banana Hammock Harry. Yes.
Well, see what you did, Barry? This is what you get. Fucks with me, bro. But genuinely, that dude has now, a couple of months ago, I got told, like, hey, Barry's being really chill. Like, I'm like, okay, like, the only reason I didn't want him in my chat is because he was always an asshole. He's going to be chill, then cool. So now we have, like, little jokes, and we kind of, whatever, we have this little back and forth. But I will say, he has genuinely reached out to me in private and sent me very heartfelt, uplifting messages. And like, he's a real stand-up dude. And there's this other account, dare I speak thy name, Grandmaster Fets.
Oh God, yeah.
Showed up during the beef. And at first it was like, haha, look at this dude fucking clowning. But then genuinely, sometimes we'll be having a conversation and they'll say something like, oh, have you ever thought about it from this perspective? Or like they'll have a genuine point, and I'll be like, oh my God. Like, I know you're a troll and you're like, you clown a lot and stuff, but that was actually a very, very valid point. But it became this thing where it's like, oh, well, that dude's in fucking Cfowls chat, so like we all got to be mad about it. And I'm like, I get it. You don't want people clowning on other people, but when he's just interacting with the chat and being like a genuine, like hey, there he is, like anyone. I told you, speak thy name, dude. They follow me. But on a real note, I don't even know who this is. He does sometimes input, reasonable. He'll make good points, and I'll be like, damn, hats off to you. I gotta admit, that's a great point, man.
There's a human being behind the troll. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So even if it is, parody or making fun of or whatever, he is like Beetlejuice, dude. I'm not even joking. Speak thy name in any chat, he'll pop up.
I want to add one sentence. Everybody here present, I want you all to know, if you remember when I was, the number one, most wanted, easiest to hate on, hive mind, whatever the case. And I'm not going to say I wasn't without my own faults, but what what came out as a result, I think, was fucking overkill. That the part 2 was because Fetty decided he wanted to treat himself for his birthday, and his birthday celebration was consisting of destroying my character on YouTube for 4 fucking hours with his friends. And I'd like to add, I still see to this day, regardless of how nice he'd like to speak to me or about me, the same names, and you know who you are, that have talked about threatening my life because it's fun or funny, shooting me. I know Brook 420, for example. You know, I see these things, so don't expect me to see you just be like, oh, hey, you know, I mean, you're welcome here, but at least say it right to me. That's all I'd say. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, you're good. And I mean, honestly, like, people keep it, well, as of late, at least, people have been keeping it respectful, at least in my chat, regarding you. If you're getting up, will you get me a liquid death?
Yes.
I love you.
The only thing that I pointed out to you, and I don't know, maybe I'll find out right now, during our beef, that or whatever the case, I did say, hey man, there was somebody in your chat, and they were their name was spelling out the phone number to my job.
Yeah, I legit didn't know that's what that was, but I did go back and look at it and was like, oh, fuck, like, okay. And then blocked them and, you know, got the comments out of there. And thankfully, I don't know if anyone really caught that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not even concerned about it, man. And there was a certain group that, like, there is a reward that kind of manifests itself as long as you continue to get up and do what it is you do, which is just
And
persevering.
so what I was gonna say though is people do keep it respectful in my chat, because I have been very open that, like, hey, me and Eli talked about some shit and we realized that a lot of things were kind of being manipulated in the background to sort of keep us going at one. Like, when we finally had the conversation, broke it down, both of us were like, why are you mad at me? Because you said fuck me. I never said fuck you though.
And you're my friend.
Yeah, no, we had our whatever, I don't know. It's weird for me to use this kind of a term because it doesn't fit my character, but we had a come to God moment or whatever the case. Like, and I'll be the first to very publicly state my issue with a lot of the people that apologize to me extremely privately is that the damage you did was publicly to my character. So all those phone calls from Barebones and I spoke. You know, everybody that was a part of that reached out to me personally. I didn't see any apologies publicly, so to everybody else's knowledge, everything that was said was possibly fucking true.
So what I was going to say is people in my chat specifically keep it respectful because they know, and I think this is actually a good point to what you're saying, because they know you and I have been able to mend the bridge and
bury the hatchet. And
yeah.
I want to make it clear that I apologized for being a fucking raving lunatic. I was just so exhausted. I was so exhausted with, you know, not feeling like I came back from what had occurred, and then that it was starting to still keep traction. And I still maintain to this day that other account that made that video, not me still, I don't have that talent, I'd be using it, that made, you know, at the time, you and Fetty very suspicious of me. But I understand. I understand why.
I was going to say,
I cannot blame you. No. But I hope, you know, you have no doubts in your mind. I would have taken this shit to the next level by now.
So, right, though, you would be a fucking wizard by now. But I do see that, you know, people, I have been very vocal about it, so people are very respectful. At least they'll either say nothing at all, or they'll be like, hey man, how's it going? You know, like, it's never an issue. I do, however, see people that go in, sometimes in Fetty's chat, sometimes in these other chats, where it's just right back to hating. And it's like I would almost rather like, I get you're trying to be respectful in my chat, and I do appreciate that. But if it's disingenuous like that, I would almost, one thing I hate more than a bully is fake. So it's like lesser of two evils. Like,
I just ask for the sincere, real version. Give me what you really think. Don't let me go find out later on through happenstance that you're talking the opposite shit that you bring to the table when it's me here. Stay consistent and be exactly who you are. Keep that same energy across the fucking board. So yeah, I'd ask anybody that's like that or intends to be like that to save your energy and unsubscribe immediately.
And real quick, I see Queen's comment in the chat. Respectful doesn't mean fake. No, but it kind of does when the same person in one chat is being respectful and then in another chat saying, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's hypocritical. There's no other, we calling a spade here.
Queen is literally like one of my guardian angels, saving grace. Like throughout all the negativity, she helped me stay very as stable as possible because I hit despair. I hit my own version of a bottom when things were proceeding so quickly out of my control. Right at the end when I was able to actually get here and see it, and man, that was some dark times. So I'm so grateful to Justin, Mr. President, to Queen, and to even DJ Pooh and everybody. And that's not to say, I also just want to say thank you for everybody that's been able to go through this crazy journey and see the truth for what it is after time with hindsight. You know, look who's in the red and being questioned and looking just sus again.
Much love, Eli.
Oh, much love, absolutely, across the board. By the way, Dumpling, Josh is actually, he's moved again and he's building another studio. So we won't see Josh in about a little less than a month. And we always have big plans, but Rumble, Stuck in the Middle is going to be a regular thing. And actually, Cfowls, I'm going to need to, I guess, ask you at some point, help me multi-stream here. But anyway, that's for way later down the road. I do love Rumble.
On Rumble and on YouTube.
First, Josh needs to send me the password and everything so I can go on as Stuck in the Middle. And I love some of the recent stuff. Like you guys, the community, the audience here, you guys are amazing. Like the stuff that I find and seeing you guys in the chat and like however many hours have to go by where I see just how engaged everybody is. It's what keeps everything so alive. I'm grateful for it.
No, I love the live chat. It's super. I've made whole shows just talking to the live chat, just people saying stuff, and I'm like, haha, and then we make a joke, and then like a whole technical difficulties. My merch apparel line is born just because like my laptop fucked up once, so I had to switch to the phone, and then I was in the background like trying to get StreamYard back on my laptop, and everyone was like, ha, this is the show of fucking technical difficulties. And eventually I was like, Witchy, will you please make me a shirt that just says technical difficulties with the buffering thing?
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to do a little something. First off, I'd like everybody to feel free to smash the thumbs up. We are on an ongoing battle with YouTube itself and the algorithm. That aside, I'd like to say feel free if you're watching currently or you're part of the rewatch gang. Please like and describe and feel free to find Cfowls channel and show it some love. In turn, I'd hope if you are also just already an appreciator of Cfowls and you're seeing my very handsome face for the first time, feel free to subscribe to this. Only if you find me worthy, though. With that being said, though, anything you think we didn't cover that should be el coverdo? This has been cathartic as hell, by the way.
Yeah, no, we haven't had a sit down in quite a while. I guess.
It happened at the right time. We were talking about toxicity.
Happened at the right time. Goddamn right. I think. Well, to kind of finish the Lilith thing I was saying, because it does hold.
She's in hiding. She emailed me. I'm not going to give too much information because she was making
What
a point to say she didn't share my text messages, and I would never do that. Yada yada. But she's in hiding, staying low.
it also holds some relevance to kind of everything we've touched on tonight. The hive mind is a real thing, and it's a real motherfucker. And Lilith, I would say, was the most prominent, but a lot of people were very, very hesitant of myself sort of stepping out of our little bubble we had. And now, looking back at just everything that's transpired, are they, if a community is this strong foundation and we're all so close and like we have this solid community, why is it such a threat to interact with other communities? And as we've both personally seen, well, it's because that community gets sort of shaken within itself and doesn't quite know what to do when the outliers start doing what outliers do and saying, fuck it, I'm going to say and do whatever the hell I want because that's what I've always done.
An isolationist community is I think maybe not so much doomed to fail, but ultimately doomed to go after one another, which is why I think certain personalities that we've become all too familiar with usually thrive when there is a target. That's when they can all come together and never have to look in the mirror or look at one another. That's been a disappointing lesson for me, that we apparently need conflict. It makes life easier. I would like to see us try better than to always seek drama or conflict, fighting, negativity. Let's try to do the opposite of what our gut instincts or evolution in our very blood tells us to do.
Yeah, I genuinely try to stay out of drama. It really, since the whole thing happened between you and I've tried, like actively tried to stay away from drama. Obviously, we're on the internet and things happen, and there's going to be like people just create drama to create drama, or sometimes people kind of fuck you over and you gotta make a little bit of a stink of it to get the point across. And whatever, as far as that goes, anyone wondering about the forging thought thing, between myself and Bryn and him, everything's squared.
Financially squared. It doesn't speak to his disappearance and behavior, but at least he committed to the original promise.
Yeah,
Although strange that Fetty had to be the buffer in between, and that he continues to find himself in that position. And I will only mention this as I will say clearly, it's hearsay. Although, if you look, you will find, and I'm not trying to bring heat on him for this. One individual has commented saying that he's been tracking him down for scamming and that's why they moved, so on and so forth. I don't know that there's any truth to that. And there was another person with his own community that has called him out for certain actions that were not appropriate regarding, like
I know
scamming
who
and
you're
stuff.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
at
so
this point, man,
all of that created a pattern for me, and that's what led me to text him personally and say, right now, I don't know I don't know who you are, and I don't feel comfortable talking to you. And he, at first it was a mixture between like, where is this coming from, and okay, I understand, and then back to angry. But no, I'm not gonna dance to any tune. I'm gonna beat my own drum, and whatever answers are learned will not come through you or from you. They'll come from facts.
I said this on my live yesterday in regards to you and me and Bass Girl and Bryn and a lot of us, but they made there's this whole thing about, well, Eli said all this stuff on his live and that's not true, and how dare he fucking question that. Yeah, but
May I ask you what just out of curiosity, and I don't mean to, just what have I said that's untrue?
Well, so I know for a fact, when we, as in Fetty's community, reached out and asked if there was any sort of like Cash App or GoFundMe or anything, the family did decline and asked that we donate to Canines for Warriors. It's a charity that basically helps vets get service animals.
Yeah.
And quite a few of that community did end up pooling together and making a donation to that charity. But this is also something I was talking about last night. I don't know. We know in our circle that never happened, but DC was a part of a lot of channels in a lot of communities. He knew a lot of people, and at one point he was pushing the Blue Bone Fish Lodge, this place he supposedly was a fisherman at, that he worked at. They sell merch, and he was pushing this merch on my channel for a while, like back in January, December. He was constantly like, "Oh yeah, Blue Bone Fish Lodge. We have merch and book a tour now." And like he was, pushing the shit out of this. So I don't know if perhaps somebody was watching my show and said, "Oh, I would like some merch from Blue Bone Fish Lodge," and got a hold of him and said, "Hello, sir. May I purchase a hat?" And he was like, "Cool. Give me $5. Well, come to find out, he never worked there. So if anybody paid that dude $5 for a blue bonefish hat,
the compounding lies through this same. I don't want to chastise the entirety of that community, even though I know, like, I don't care that I'm not the most popular. Just there's enough of a pattern there for me to just feel fucking uncomfortable. Period. But okay, like, was there anything that you wanted to address with me for me saying something that's not true that I'm happy to man up to or explain or whatever? I want to offer that. Or any questions in general.
What was everyone so mad about with your live the other night?
Which one? Say again?
In general, or what was everybody so mad about with your live the other night?
Which live? Nobody was mad to my knowledge.
Well, I mean, Fetty was pretty upset that you were talking about money.
Oh, are you talking about the one where I was it was my Progressive Patriot screen and I was just talking?
The one where you were talking about this whole DC fiasco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if there were people angry, you're going to have to ask them, and I guess they're going to have to articulate it. All I ask, through what I've learned of what people are capable of, is that you just be truthful about your beefs and issues with me, and don't invent imaginary ex-girlfriends that have been abused by me. That's the lowest form of human behavior I've yet to experience, and that's why I am so reluctant to ever say I accept your apology, if ever that needs to be explained again. But
yeah.
I don't know what was so rage-inducing. It was my take on another public official that has given a lot of stress to somebody that supports me a lot, and I thought at the end of the day it was very hypocritical.
Well, and that was kind of my point. I was like, "Yo, look, I get it. We all mourned this guy, and come to find out,
You don't even know if he's alive or dead."
I don't want to say he's not dead and be wrong, but I've seen zero proof, and the things I have seen, it's looking like a homie faked his own death. For what reason? Couldn't fucking tell you. I may never know, but it really is looking like he faked the whole thing and he's still running around somewhere doing shit. But my whole thing was like, yeah, we mourn this dude. Come to find out, he may have faked his death. I'm leaning towards he faked his death, but I haven't.
Well,
Like,
look, we know we saw a fake ass funeral, and I love this comment. And you know what, White Dragon, you're right, and I apologize. So the name of the person who may or may not be dead, who had a fake funeral from stock footage on the internet, is DC Irish. Okay, a name that we're typically referring to is Free from Fetter's Grove, aka Fetty. And yeah, if there's any other names, issues, questions, I'm happy to answer them. Holy shit, Wing Zero. I hope everything's good with you. And over in Queen Bee's house, I haven't been there in a hot minute. I hope all is well. But yeah, I wanted to be clear because I feel I can speak for Casey and I. And if I can't, Casey, bitch smack me with backhand style. Casey and I are transparent. Huh?
No, but
Oh, you
so
do rag slap?
my whole thing last night on my live was like, okay, yes, this is a very emotional situation, and obviously Joey Fetty, doesn't like Eli very much as it is, and like all these things are compounding into the reason why people would say fuck you, progressive patriot. But at this point, what we do know is there was a fake funeral service for a man who may or may not be alive, who may or may not have had. Fuck it.
Fake funeral. I'm going to say alive. If they went through the trouble to fake a fucking funeral, I don't think there was one. How about that? There we go.
Exactly. So I was like, he has the right to ask a few questions. We're all asking a lot of fucking questions right now. Eli has the right to ask questions too. And he obviously doesn't know, like, Joey, god damn it, Fetty, whatever. He called me the day he got this email and was like, oh my god, and like we were talking about it. Nobody called Eli to say, hey man, here's what's going on. You just kind of found out about it, right? Like through.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Of course he doesn't have as much information, but when he's asking questions, why is it all of a sudden fuck him when we all have a million questions too?
It's an invisible law. It's the same reason why I fucking was all too eager to leave Discord and congregations. Here's a fair one. I think that's easy for me to nip in the bud. They seemed cool back then and missed context to what really happened between you and Cfowls. Basically, with me and Casey here, we got to find out after. I think he didn't like when I would reference anything from the past, because we all did agree to move on, and I didn't like learning and seeing people talking about me on his show or any reference to me. So basically, we were mad at each other for the same reasons. However, what we learned down the road, once we actually started communicating, after I flipped my shit like a Neanderthal, like a madman, like somebody that should be locked up, I called him like a lunatic and was talking such trash. And then finally, we learned there was people manipulating us.
He called me like fucking free, and I was like, bro, like, dude, I know we're mad at each other right now, but you need to chill, Eli. Like, calm down.
I would I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that was my exhaustion manifest, and I had to snap. It was like the only thing left emotionally that I could do, because nothing else seemed to be working or getting through.
In all honesty, like, I know we were mad at each other and whatever, but after that phone call, I was laughing. I was like, oh my god, like,
you took the correct position.
If this was anyone, if I'm watching this in a movie, this is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. Like, holy shit. So yeah, there's something I was gonna say.
Well,
What
that was
happened?
all desperation, and it is
What
definitely not
happened?
my proudest moment.
What happened with us was a misunderstanding. He There was an incident that happened in my chat that I was pretty upset about, and
That was always
something
confusing for me. Even though I get it now, but like I didn't understand how it got so big. I accidentally blocked Boston. Accidentally, I swear to this day, over my life and my family's life. And apparently, I was known for typing too much, or certain comments were taken off color or key or something.
So what should have been, and I'll fully admit this, what should have been a conversation between myself and Eli, and it started out that way, turned into basically Boston Nick saying, well, the reason he blocked me is because he doesn't like me because this one time. And I was like, oh, well, that's not cool, man. Like, he shouldn't be doing shit like that. And then this is the confusing part about what happened between us. Basically, Fetty was he was saying one thing to Eli, saying, "Oh man, we're good. We don't want any drama. We don't want anything to go down." Right? Am I correct on this?
That is correct.
And
All
then
nice with me, but then talking about me.
and then when I would say, like, if I caught wind, and again, a lot of this is just the both of us catching wind that, hey man, the other guy said something, and we're like, what the fuck? Why? And
Again, who finds themselves in the center again, and again.
So, yeah, he would be telling Eli, we're cool. We don't want the drama. We don't blah, 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 blah. And then I would be like, man, have you talked to Eli lately? And he would be like, oh, no. I said hi to him a couple of days ago or something. And I would be like, well, apparently Eli is saying this and that. And he'd be like, oh, well, fuck that, man. We'll roast him again, dude. We'll fucking blah, blah, blah. So he's kind of riling me up to be like, yeah, man, fuck that. Let's fucking blah. While at the same time telling Eli, like, no, it's good. We're all fine. And kind of, I think he was trying to play peacekeeper. Well, yeah. But ultimately, what it did was it made Eli think I was saying things. It made me think he was saying things. And then people would just like tell us the other, or we'd catch a snippet here or there and not have the full context. And legitimately, somebody was clipping my lives completely out of context, and it was getting sent. I know some of them made it back to you, but it was getting sent.
One was sent to me by Justin, Mr. President. To this day, we don't know the origin of the fucking clip.
Yeah,
so somebody was going as so far as manipulating one or both of us just to rile us up against each other. So finally, thankfully, the inevitable time came where he and I just acted like adults and spoke and started realizing, well, holy shit. Like when I mentioned a video, he was like, wait, what video? So yeah, naturally things just progressed into understanding we were being fucked with.
At one point we were talking, I forget exactly what the comment was, but Eli was like, you said this about me. And I was like, bro, that was me and Dusty. Me and Dusty have this bit where we're having a fake YouTube beef for publicity. So he'll say shit in my chat, and I'll be like, shut the fuck up, Dusty. Get back on the goddamn bridge, you fucking bridge troll. And like, we'll be mean to each other. Someone took a piece of that bit where I was fucking around with Dusty like we always do. That's completely lighthearted and a joke and in no way serious. But they clipped just the part where I was like, fuck you, you fucking troll piece of shit. and said it to Eli. I was like, look what he's saying about you. I'm like, that was not in any way, shape, or form about you, bro. Like, I promise.
Oh yeah, no, dude, this is old news by now. I'm glad that we finally can tell the people that I think have hated to see us go against each other when we've always served to help build one another up from the get go. And it's we're far beyond harping on what was bad. And I'm just happy that we are where we are now, and all we can do is grow and move forward. Whatever it happens as a result of us doing nothing more than speaking absolute facts and the truth and being able and allowed to speculate what we think and or feel, nothing merits or warrants negativity or a campaign of hate. But if that's what it is, I pity anybody that endeavors on that mission. That's my disclaimer.
Fair
So
enough.
with that, yeah, with that, I want to say, it's been great to have you. Unless you want to say anything, I'm pretty much going to bid a good night to everybody. You down with that? You and Bree?
Yeah. I appreciate you having me. You said it earlier, it was very cathartic to be back on this channel, and I guess I'm just trying to lead by example. I preach so much on my channel about learning and growing from the mistakes of your past. A couple of months ago, nobody would have seen me sitting right here having this conversation with Eli, but we learned, we grew from it, and we're trying to make the future better. And I would hope that everybody out there can take that advice and run with it. And if not, there's something within yourself you probably need to figure out and work on.
Take your inner take inventory of yourself first and foremost before you go about having an entire existence based on throwing stones at others. That's what I take away from that. And hello, Josh, stuck in the middle. Holy bejesus H Christ! 26 U-Hauls and two full 26-foot U-Haul trips. Okay, that's different. And you're at the new place. That's fantastic, bro. I can't wait for us to work together again. With that, everybody, Josh just got here, so that tells me I need to get the hell out of here. Sorry, Josh. No, but sincerely, thank you, Cfowls. It's great to have you back here. Always welcome here. You are a part of, now I'm not going to say the family. I don't want any cult-ish vibes. There is a family here. Huh? What's that?
I said, oh, my PTSD.
I know, right? Sincerely, like, I get still wigged out when I hear fam or community even. I go, ugh. No, but this celebration of independent thinkers crew, every one of you, you're a part of it. As you know, you and Bryn are. All of you, good night. Thank you for being a part of this. Josh, you and I shall talk. Call me tomorrow. Good night, guys. I'm gone. Cfowls, good night. Bryn, good night. All right, later. This was good. This felt good. All right, I'm going to remove, and I don't want to kick from studio, make it easier for him. I want to sincerely thank you guys for being not here just for this live, but for remaining throughout the ridiculousness of every scenario and situation that has surfaced as a result of either people that congregated and decided, let's get together and create some drama or tear somebody down. You will always benefit more, not only from the outside, but definitely most on the inside if you try to build somebody up. That's a guarantee. I'll stake my life on it. Good night, one and all.